there and welcome back to the channel. This has to be my geekiest shoot ever. We had Sandra Horn in as our Babs in Space, and we had hair by Rose Thorogood, makeup by Jolie Nguyen. Check out this duo working together in tandem. Lights, I was using the newer Q6, so I was setting up one here. I had another one on the other side that I was also using as well. I also had the newer speed light as well, and I just popped that behind the scenes just so that I could, so this is a Z3, I just had that behind just to pop it up. Most of the footage you'll see is shot on the new SJ Cam S30. Here's the other newer Q6. I had an 85cm softbox on. I was also using the newer Q Pro trigger to set the lights off. Back again with Rose and Jolie, still working tandem to get that amazing hair and makeup done. It is so much fun to work with these two. Look at the height Rose was getting on that hair. The background, I just wanted to keep it simple. I had a couple of stools with some white fabric and just on a white background. We did have a little bit of a wardrobe hiccup. The harness that we had for this outfit didn't quite reach the boot, so we got a little bit creative and got some black electrical tape out to run that black pinstripe up the boots and up Sandra's leg as well. So again, I'm just sitting back and catching all the chaos as it happened while Jolie and Rose were trying to get the perfect pinstripes happening on Sandra. The things we do to get the shoot we're looking for, we honestly go above and beyond. Just a quick word about the blaster. That's actually just a Nerf gun that I got from the shops, and I spray painted it silver. So nothing terribly flash there. So I just started off with some classic iconic shots. We had Sandra on, I had two stools that I had put side by side so that it looked like a bit of a bench, and I just put some white fabric over the top and had her sitting on, you know, with the white paper backdrop, which I had pulled all the way down. I'm just showing Sandra just a couple of the shots that I was getting on the camera so that she knew sort of what I was looking for. Rose just jumping in to do a few quick hair touch-ups, and then we were just playing with different scenes and working our way through. We did have a mood board that I had pinned up on one of the lights, so we sort of knew the shots that we were going for going into the shoot. If you don't know by now, or if you haven't figured out, our inspiration for this scene or this series was the 1968 sci-fi classic Geek Fest Barbarella. But I wouldn't be surprised if you're like a 60s, 70s kid like me and you're thinking Lost in Space, and there were so many amazing, even like Star Trek, you know. There was just so many amazing and iconic sci-fi movies and TV shows that come out of that era. The silver foil and the silver boots and the costume and the big hair and the makeup and those laser blasters and all the rest of it. So many different iconic elements that we took out of this genre of TV and film. The Superwoman hero stance and the blaster, and it was just so much fun to be able to capture this. Now, we were trying to get sort of a bit of a hair flip happening, and I was just changing some of the lights and fiddling around with a few things here. And then we were sort of getting Sandra to flip around, but there was so much product in her hair, it really wasn't flipping. Rose jumped in to try and get the sort of action happening on the hair, but really wasn't working the way that we thought. So we sort of gave up on that. Obviously, we had got rid of the stools by this stage, and I still had the little newer speed light on the floor, just creating a bit of a rim light and just doing some kneeling poses. We had some standing poses. We were then just playing with different poses. If you have seen any of the sort of promotional images or whatever that come out of this movie, there was some classic poses that Jane Fonda did, and we were sort of trying to replicate some of those but still keep it our own. Jolie just had to jump in there. We had to fix the tape up a little bit. We also discovered that the electrical tape rips off any fake tan that you put on, so that was another little challenging aspect that we had to do, and just had to move that rim light a little bit so that I didn't have to worry about that. Jolie jumping in again to fix up that tape. Every time that Sandra changed poses or moved, the tape would come off or whatever. It just, as you can see there, it just kept coming off. I think she'd moved that many times that the tape had lost all adhesive. So we ended up ripping that off and getting some more tape to redo that line up her leg for the last little bit of this shoot. We were trying to get this last sort of ridiculous pose, and we had the idea of putting Sandra's foot on the stool. She actually had really good core muscles, so we could get her to just sort of put her legs up in the air and sit up at the same time. So it was terrific. So big thank you to my team on this particular shoot. I love it when they just trust in my vision and allow me to bring that together. We've got some little reels behind the scenes, and now I'll just leave you with some of the images. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed a little look behind the scenes on our Babs in Space. As always, don't forget to subscribe, like, leave a comment below, and turn on that little button for notifications so that you can see any new videos that I put up. See you next time on YouTube. Bye.